where you need to be super aggressive. You need to be on the ball from day one or round one. And FAV, they need to wake up on the ASAP.
Yeah, they needed to wake up at the start of Bank. Now, but we head to Chalet. I mean, this map could really be... This could be their own demise, honestly. Flores banned out early here. Nothing too much to read into unless you've got something up your sleeve that you want to talk about there, guys.
I do not have anything up my sleeve.
Good. We like to hear that. This, however, is one of the most banned maps from what we've got for ORTHROS GRIT. Banned a total of 6 times 4. That was a really weird sentence. 6 times 4. Sounds like I'm saying they've banned it 24 times. They've banned it for themselves 6 times, and the next closest map is Coastline Cafe at 7. So, in all honesty, I am a little bit curious to see what happens here for ORTHROS GRIT. Are they going to be able to adapt on a map like Chalet, where we know they may not be feeling as comfortable? Don't know. Flores, Thatcher, and Wamai banned out. The final defense. What are we seeing? A Valk.
Yeah, it's nothing standing out here. All pretty stock standard. Wamai, Flores are typically banned on this map to make some of these strongholds a little bit weaker for the defense, and the Flores, you know, taken out to try and strengthen the lack of projectile denial. Now, I was just actually looking at the Japan League stats. Now, ORTHROS GRIT don't compete in this league, but FAV Gaming do, so you know, it gives us a little bit of a read. It's played 12 times at equal defensive win rate, so 50% across 146 rounds. Now, one stat that really stands out as being quite interesting is the most played site is Master Office with 48 rounds, yet it has by far the worst defensive win rate, 35%. So take from that what you will. Master Office is, you know, quite popular, but also not very well played here in the Japan League. So we'll have to wait and see just how strong either of these teams are at defending. ORTHROS GRIT, they're not going there first. Instead, they're heading over towards Kitchen and Dining, one of the strongest sides here, at least in Japan League.
And generally, I'm sure we'll see it here, the extension above is almost critical. You cannot allow the attackers to really get that early vertical control. It will just be an absolute nightmare to deal with. And you know, it's a double-edged sword for the defenders. If you let the attackers kind of take that ground, you're going to be in a bit of trouble when it comes to denying plans. But if you manage to keep it, well, guess what? You've got all the denial that you need in the world. If they try to go toward Dining, it's basically free real estate for you. So really expecting quite the contention here. ORTHROS GRIT going to be sticking with that castle pick that we saw oh so often on their defensive bank. And again, I mean, I'm really liking the small little changes that come with just, you know, little updates. All that changed was one barricade and from 12 hits down to 9, and we're seeing so much more additional play from the castle.
Yeah, I definitely did think that was going to be the case. Teams that particularly have strong support staff and strategical minds will be able to implement rather that additional barricade in creative ways. Now, Shin with a very quick entry here from FAV. Now, again, their map control wasn't particularly poor on Bank. Maybe it could have been sped up a little bit, but it was their late round where they were failing to get information on site, trading out picks effectively. So that's what I'm really looking at here. Of course, a quick entry, quick map control will aid in giving a bit more of a buffer in the late round. But ORTHROS GRIT, they're ready and waiting. Upstairs hold here, of course, the vert pretty critical here on Dining. And we're going to see these defenders try and hold these positions for as long as possible. Luke Gator on the Habana looking to open up into Office, but he's being stalled out by that mid-jammer on the wall.
I wonder, what are they going to do to send it? Are they just going to send a nade from number 2? Looks like they are. Just on the other side of half wall, so that should pretty much open things up there. And there you go. Proceedings now start with that mini game upstairs. The dance to and fro as ORTHROS GRIT look to hold tight for a critical point of interest.
Solarium as well being held down by Capcan. But here we go. FAV are going to send it. 70 seconds on the board. Bathroom control is what they're looking for, but Ace Roller with the shotgun will greet them and say hello. A great way to kick off the round for ORTHROS GRIT. Now, Afro elsewhere did find a pick, but finds himself very low on HP. And with 60 seconds left, the defense still with the upper hand.
They're going to know that Typon's in there now. Ace Roller going to get aggressive around the corner. The shotgun's just going to keep them at bay for now. Can he find a third? No, it's Typon from behind. 3 versus 3 now. My goodness, 2 players incredibly low for FAV Gaming. Vertical control has been lost. What are ORTHROS going to do? There's only 30 seconds left for FAV to make a move, and I like this position from Mao. He's just got to be careful not to be spotted out by the vertical player.
Oh, no.
He still manages to win that fight.
Yeah, very much a whiff there from Typon. FAV under pressure. Afro 1 HP away from death. A single bullet will seal his fate. Another whiff here from FAV, but eventually Afro will collect that kill. 10 seconds left. The cap can coming into play. Lugator now also low. Afro take down. And the final pick there from ORTHROS will confirm the round.
From a player like Ace Roller, and things change.
Yeah, that's going to be really disheartening for FAV, because on Bank, that was probably the one thing they were lacking, was that initiation and that confidence to sort of go for plays on the back end of rounds and try and find openings and actually clear control in difficult to hold positions. And the one time they finally do try and go for that and send 2 players to trade out a pick, they both get taken down, and basically from that point onwards the round was over. So really rough for FAV, not a great way to kick off their campaign here. And now that is 7 rounds. 7 rounds, or 8 rounds now, sorry. 8 rounds in a row for ORTHROS GRIT. And they're only going to keep mounting, I think, if they play the way that they are so far.
Gotta imagine that storyline. We thought the Sengoku going down to Blue Bees was going to be a bit of a spanner in the works for the storyline that we had coming into the Japan Championship. Imagine FAV fall at the first hurdle, and in such fashion as well. That's the thing right now, is ORTHROS GRIT for 8 rounds straight have been consistently convincing. And they may well continue that form here. Let's see how well FAV can deal with this player up in Library.
Oh, big nade. VVORT taken low. Can't drop the hatchet, has been reinforced. So the second nade will seal his fate. Confirms the down. Now Mao's looking to maybe support, so FAV need to be very, very careful if they want to confirm this kill.
Mao instead decides and opts to back away. They do know that V-Ball is down. They threw a drone in so they would know the information. Ziru, though, does manage to get that Sawyer gate back up, so at the very least it's going to be more utility needing to be used. Shin decides to just go and send it straight through the single window. He's going to be careful of the stairs from Library. Still, though, Shin does go down, but only for a short second. Choppy finds the kill.
Yeah, big flank there. The attack not going for piano control. Ace Roller allowed inside of box. What can he do from this position? But it's Choppy once again to find that key pick. Mao elsewhere taken down, leaves it in a 3 versus 3, but Choppy should be able to find this pinch. No, but can make the call. No, that also won't be the case. Number 2 getting away with murder at the moment. Fav still with the man advantage, and now Ace Roller up above. I think he's made his way down the stairs now. Needs to go big.
And he does. 1v3 clutch. What was looking so good for ORTHROS GRIT, what was looking like they had the position, they got aggressive, was punished. Well and truly, oh my god, the Capcan trap doing massive damage. Ace Roller can't find it. That just sucks. That feels so bad. Pre-firing around the corner, but it's just the dance, the tango, and finally, FAV, they find their first round in 2 maps.
Yeah, I think it's particularly late in that round, there were a lot of mistakes being made by both teams. A bit of pressure, I think that was obviously on FAV to try and close out a round finally and get one on the board. ORTHROS, they did a really, really good job, particularly Choppy going quite big, as no piano control was obtained there by the attack. But then unfortunately, they couldn't quite refine their trades enough there on the top 4. And I mean, even in the dying seconds there, the 1-on-3, I was holding my breath a little bit there for FAV, but finally they do get something on the board. Something. Again, Chalet.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, Chalet is a pretty 50-50 map though, so we would expect it to be quite close. But again, considering how poor FAV played on Bank, it's something, finally.
So it's one of those maps where, you know, we get a pretty clear indication if a team kind of leads 4-2 in the first half. It's a pretty clear indication that maybe they're on par to close out. Again, though, you know, all it takes is one clutch that kind of completely skews that kind of a scoreline. However, with that stat of it being so so heavily favoured toward neither side, it's just kind of sitting smack bang in the middle. You do expect that 3-3 half. You really do expect FAV to get these rounds on the board and ensure that Orthros Grit has no easy task in front of them, which we expected coming into this game, but it's just been a little bit skew-if. We are down in the basement this time. We'll see how Orthros Grit decide to play this. Seems like they've extended decently. I think there was a player up on the second floor as well. That's Mal, up in bedroom. He's got to be careful, though. I thought he was going to send it then, Guz.
I was honestly thinking the same. Was a pretty aggressive peek. Oh, falls back, not cut off the rotation there. Trophy window not being monitored properly there by FAV Gaming. Mao getting away with that. Nades will fly through. Shin going to follow up the vault. Gets aggressive and finds a kill. Wow, I didn't even see Mao then, but I don't think Mao saw him either. A good opener for FAV.
That's massive from Shin. Again, another huge opening pick from him. Ace Roller trying to find a little gimmicky kill just out of the lobby. It's not going to be the case, though. And they've lost that control in dining. They've lost that control in kitchen. I actually think that they had played with a mirror to try and support that fireplace hold. So this is a little bit devastating in terms of the util spread. It's going to be a little bit less so on site for Orthros, but this is huge from Choppy. On the Vigil, no less as well. Do they have the intel that they need?
The one thing I love about Japanese Siege is if a barricade's getting shot, the first reaction is to go towards the barricade and peek it. Even then, everyone's double, Choppy wanting to aggress from piano, but he will finally fall back, probably the right calculated call there. Now, this is a basement defense, of course, not one of the better sites here on Chalet, very tough to hold on in an execute fashion, but that's why Orthros are intending to play offside, try and slow this down. An interesting mirror from Dining will actually make the rotation for the defense quite challenging over towards Fireplace, but nonetheless, Choppy might be able to go for something if he does progress back up the stairs, as FAV now have a foothold towards the north.
Well, I was so devastated that Mao went down early there because they were intending to hold that. They were intending to force FAV into a kind of position where they were not favoured whatsoever. And now, like I said, dwindled utility on site means it's going to be somewhat more difficult, especially with FAV having all 5 up here. Choppy can find a quick little flank. If he can find a quick pick, it might start to unravel things. He's got to be careful though. Shin's watching the hard line. And Shin will win that again.
Trade.
Double kill there. How? No, cuz how?
Oh my god, Shin! Should not have gotten away with that one. Now it's a 2 versus 5. Siru and Vivord left to try and clutch up this round. FAV in the late round have struggled, but surely from this position they can convert. Luke Gator with the diffuser in hand can go for the stick. Elsewhere, that mirror does drop, and it's Taipon from the main stairs to clean up the round for FAV.
Up on the agenda, and Orthros Grit. This was a round that I still even think that FAV looked phenomenal on. It was but for the grace of someone like Ace Roller that found a quick double with the shotgun that kind of slowed things down. So it's not something you can always kind of lean on to, guys.
Yeah, so far FAV's attacks, in comparison to Banker, looking a lot more targeted. They're actually identifying some of these setups here from Orthros, you know, that mirror and dining being a good example. And they're actually, you know, sending the correct utility and getting the timing down pat on rotations and whatnot to actually clear these positions with a bit of purpose. Whereas on Bank, they kind of just, I don't know, we go through the motions a little bit. So already a distinct change here for FAV. Of course, still a long way to go on this map, but the signs are a lot more positive. It's not like we're sitting here going, oh wow, Orthros are just absolutely smashing them in this series. And FAV are definitely making something out of them.
Make hay while the sun shines. If you're finding yourself on a bit of a streak, you got to keep burning through it. It's what we saw from Orthros Grit. They didn't drop a single round on Bank. They actually came into this match fighting the first round, which we thought, hey, hang on a second. Surely we're not going to see it repeat here. Surely we're not going to see that kind of dominance repeat from Orthros Grit. Not to be. FAV have stood to the challenge and now need to continue on their way. They're going to be met again with that aggression up top. Choppy goes down, though, at the hands of Shin, who's just sent it straight through to Solarium. And there's been no response whatsoever from Orthros. The defense here is looking a little bit... what's the right word? A little bit scurried, a little bit...
Bit sketchy.
It is just sketchy. I can't actually think of the right word that I'm trying to put onto it, but it does just seem sketchy. The Solarium take is incredibly dangerous for FAV.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much of it at the moment is Orthros struggling or just Shin absolutely activating. It feels like he's playing really well at the moment, and he's, you know, being the front line that FAV need. He is the one sending it in, backing himself, winning out these ones, also being able to scout ahead with those Geminis to gain additional information now in towards site. It seems like FAV are not going to necessarily push those remaining defenders up above over towards Piano and Office Half, or instead committing quite heavily here over towards Trophy. Maybe go for that kitchen plan, especially with West Main control obtained here from Afro. I think FAV are in a decent spot.
They are, and I do wonder if not clearing out that vertical line will come back to haunt them. Siru now taking down Lugator. It is the Habana, so no more of the hard breaching in terms of a speedy recovery, that is. You've still got the Maverick with the blowtorch. 45 seconds left on the clock here in FAV. Now got to be careful. How does Shin find another kill like that? It's swing galore.
Goes deep into towards kitchen now. 35 seconds left on the board. Typon as well will find a kill with the diffuser in hand. Ace Roll still has control up above. V-Board as well can go for a West Main flank. It's not over just yet for Orthros.
V-Board needs to find the shots. He can't connect though, and this is a real issue. 2v3. Nice shot from V-Board to open things up here. Ace Roller has to try and play from the heavens above. Has to beat the Omega for V-Board here. The shotgun trying to find the vertical lines. Can he find the kill? You bet it. Absolutely well and truly. It's now Afro trying to hold on. What a retake from Orthros Grit in the 2 versus 3.
Oh, it looks so good for FAV. Shin was popping off. Typon as well getting in on the action. And finally, they had a foothold in the side, able to get that diffuser stuck. But unfortunately, without contesting.
Yeah.
10 seconds left.
And again, maybe you're just tuning in just to reiterate the key storylines. FAV, they are facing, I guess, staring down the barrel of APAC North relegations. They'll be fighting for their spot later in the year. For Orthros Grit, they entered the Japan Championship through the Open Qualifier. So they're by no means at the same level, and they are fighting for their opportunity to fight for a spot in the Japan League next year if they can get this across the line and then beat Gyogun in the next game. What an opening pick there from Shin. That's the bathroom peak dealt with, and Mao will need to sit and twiddle his thumbs. Currently going 1-5.
Not having the impact we might have thought. Lucy hoping and praying that all the Banshees have been placed down. I mean, if it's not at this point, you're going to be asking questions. But once again, Shin. Massive highlight player here for Orthros Grit, for FAV Gaming, and Orthros Grit are just left scrambling to try and pick up the pieces again, trying to find themselves a way back into this round after Shin just consistently is finding these kills. These opening kills have just been devastating, but it's going to be Siru! Shuts down both players trying to force their way through the double window. Afro and Typon nowhere near in a position to trade those out.
FAV now, they need to recover the diffuser and try to recover this round. Afro's in a decent position over towards Piano and might be able to kill Ace Roller, who seems isolated. If Orthros know that the diffuser is down, they should be doing a better job in positioning here and supporting Ace Roller up above. They won't do that, and that's given FAV an opportunity, an opening. It's a small one at that, but it's better than nothing.
Now they're going to be so careful that they don't throw lives away. They have to be careful that they don't just throw bodies on the line. They're playing all so passive. V-Board Mud, ensuring that there's no free player that's going to be able to take that control. No one's going to be contesting that double window. 50 seconds is so much time here for FAV to work with, but I'm really liking this early control. They're not going to slow down just yet. They're going to try to get that opening pick, and then from there, it's anyone's game.
V-Bot needs to be really careful. He's in a power position, but he's also isolated. If he is taken down, it leaves him in the 2v2. He gets aggressive off the back of that flashbang, immediately taken down there. Really well played by FAV, but fortunately, that trade does come through from Choppy on the cap can. Afro now in the 1v2, 25 seconds, no kit.
Such a great call from Choppy. Had to be done. Afro ringing out some pre-fire shots. It's not going to connect onto anything just yet.
15 seconds remaining.
He's going to play this patiently as well. Both players low. All it's going to take is 1 or 2 bullets into the chest and they're going to be down. They're going to be dusted. 5 seconds. He doesn't have kit. He doesn't have a clue. There's no chance in this one. ORTHROS GRIT. They lead 3-2 as we head into the last round of the first half.
Yeah, that round was really one up above. They were able to drop that diffuser. Ace Roller probably could have played safer and gone back towards site to make that round a little bit more secure. And FAV did a good job in clearing the likes of Mudroom and, you know, trying to mount something in the latter phases of that round. But obviously a tough position that they found themselves in, and the groundwork, unfortunately for them, is not quite there. Another good round for ORTHROS GRIT, who just when it feels like FAV is starting to build a bit of momentum and confidence here on their map pick, every now and again they just find around and just completely shut that out, and again sort of just adjust our expectations a little bit. So they are fighting really hard right now, playing super solid siege, and it does feel like Chalet is going to be really quite close, as the statistics would suggest.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being.
And this is the opportunity for ORTHROS GRIT. This really is the chance for them to just take that little lead. Take that lead into that second half and really start to put pressure on FAV. Really start to make them sweat. Finishes 3-3, and it's essentially just it's just starting from ground zero all over again, right? Where we're going to go from a 3-3 neutral scoreline into that second half. This could be it. This could be the ticket for ORTHROS, and I've really appreciated the fact that even though FAV's attacks to begin with the first 3 rounds, I want to say were all but phenomenal. Even the 4th round was a 2v3 that ORTHROS managed to fight back from. I think that FAV were looking the goods, and now on the back of that last call, it just felt a little bit disjointed, sorry. And FAV are in a particularly weird place. I'm going to say this. You're down in the series, and now on your map pick, sure, you might be on the attack. Maybe you do feel more comfortable on the defense, but this is not a position you want to find yourselves in. Not by any means.
This is a really exciting round, right? Because Master Office is, again, in the Japan League, the worst side for the defense. Only a 35% win rate. So, in theory, FAV are in the best position to even out the half and, you know, play into that 50-50 win rate. But, I mean, they've already got it off to an awful start. Choppy has been finding these kills left, right, and center, throwing off the opponents. Unfortunately, for the defense, it's not the most impactful kill, as the hard breach is still up, but no doubt I think it could play a big role with those nades late round. On top of that health boost as well. So, again, a little bit disappointing for FAV. ORTHROS GRIT, if they get this round over the line again, they win a site that they're probably not favored to, and they have an unexpected lead as well on their opposition's map pick. So, such a key one for FAV to really bounce back.
We got there in the end, 40 bullets later. But as you said, it is an exciting prospect. ORTHROS GRIT with it all in their hands now. They've got the man advantage. They've got 2 C4s for denial on the other side of half wall should they need it. And FAV have now started to approach the site in the exact way that we kind of expect them to. Library across, you clear everything out, you start to get that big window control, but no one's there just yet. Double window not going to be a point of contest, at least in this round for FAV. And they're going to move across to the piano bathroom side.
Shin. We've been looking at him time and time again to step up, and once more needs to find a kill. Choppy inside of piano. Grenade cook, flash out, he's white. Can he find the kill? Sends it deep, and does. Good from Shin, now he can hold that cross.
V-Board's got to be careful because Afro's watching him from behind as well. Afro can't find the shots, but it's going to be Lugator that in the mess has been able to stick that defuser. Shin's in a fantastic position to cut off any of the rotates. Oh. V-Board manages to find one. Kit is down. And now the 4 versus 3. No, make that a 3 versus 3. Taipon goes massive with 2 quick kills, but what a shot. Siru, massive. And now 2v2 to close out the first half.
30 seconds left, and those attackers can sit back patiently. The defense moves forward on the retake, but Suru so low. Shin can swing wide and scout ahead with that Gemini. over towards box in office. 15 seconds now left. They need to get on this kit immediately, but they're exposed to the wall bang. There's one pick for Luke Gator and the other for Shin. Fav showing the power. Could be interesting. Probably suggesting that Fav looking to play into information, potentially up above. Shin, of course, can sit below in safety and give out calls as to where the push is coming from, whether that be from library or from solar, maybe even a combination of the two. Nothing standing out in terms of setup as being too wild. Jaeger in play, ADS devices on those solar stairs. So again, in combination with Shin and that heartbeat sensor, if Orthros want to go for that take from the northern side across, they're going to have to be very mindful of that.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Oh, hello. That's an early pick. Goodness me, they're not going to be afraid of taking those fights. Choppy with a really nice trade. I looked away for 2 seconds and all of a sudden, there's going to be ORTHROS GRIT trying to force that issue. I mean, had the smoke got a... Yeah, go shoot.
They just ran in the straight in the front door. Now Mao's in West Main, gets it down but gets taken down. So Orthros, they just run in, get a pick or two, and then run out. Do the same over towards West Main, and Mao traded. That was such a wild start to this round. Typhon should be able to get revived here, but no doubt. A bit of damage already inflicted here on Fav. Caught off guard a little bit. Oh, the nade. I know that was to clear utility, but if it was placed a little bit more to the right, could have confirmed that down. Either way, though, 7 members up. Still 2 minutes in the round.
Yeah, absolutely wild. This is what we were seeing from the Cyclops reject game yesterday. Look at this information that Shin's going to be able to garner and use to the best of Fav's ability now. This is where the game becomes a little bit interesting. You got a C4 on Shin. You've only got 1 smoke babe left in the hands of Typhon. With a minute 30. Could potentially look to start baiting out that utility, but the problem is, look how long those lines are, all the way from the back of Trophy, even the bedroom. It's not an easy task whatsoever.
Yeah, Shin taking a little bit of damage from that grenade spotted out on the drone. Should be able to pre-place that, hold the cross. Give information late round here, particularly for ORTHROS GRIT. Interesting from Choppy elsewhere. Maybe sending it up the stairs and will do so, but the plant is being committed. No, faked out. There is a nitro cell that they need to be careful of from Shin.
Information given. They know that Typhon's close on the line. Choppy. Might be the first player up on the chopping block itself. Siru now starts to stick that kit. Ace Roller, can they support? In comes the last piece of utility. Choppy finds a quick kill. And now, with that C4 gone, Ace Roller finds a kill on Alugator as well. 2 players left for Fav. And now they're trying to get things done, but they're not going to be given the opportunity. The B Chassis decides to kind of play as a bit of a saving grace there. But Ace Roller, what a performance from ORTHROS GRIT.
That was seriously scary. They played that entire round so nicely. It started out, they just busted out the gates, super aggressive. They got in the face of Fav, but then they just relaxed. They controlled themselves. They literally ran back outside the building to compose their attack and set everything up. They got the wall open. They attempted the plant multiple times, and it wasn't because they were disorganized. They were baiting out that those utility, right? They had the gas babes to worry about, the nitro cell from Shin. And once that was dealt with, you could see they had a player posted up, trophy window, another in the dining hallway covering that cross, preventing anyone from swinging and denying the plant. And then, of course, Siru able to stick it in the end. And yeah, that was really dangerous from ORTHROS. Their macro play was just on point, perfectly positioned for the plant. Didn't make any mistakes. And Fav, they tried their best. Honestly, that wasn't them losing that round. It was just ORTHROS GRIT putting them in an unwinnable position.
And again, they had so much time after finding those 2 picks. So much time to kind of dance back and forth to force out that utility, force out that final smoke canister, as well as the C4. They did so to perfection. ORTHROS GRIT with a nice showing in their first attacking round. We look for Fav Gaming to back this up now. They go to Bar, where hopefully things tidy up a little bit. But even then, it's a 4v3 in that position from Fav. And as much as we may have seen them kind of steamroll out of control there, I would have predicted them finishing that out every day of the week. I would have predicted them to have been the favoured, but again, that's only on the man count. What is this from number 2? Please don't.
I'm telling you, it's the Japanese meta. When a window's open, you go closer towards it. Ace Roller though, knowing that, playing patiently. Number 2, peeking over towards that Halley pad. Won't really spot all that much. Don't know if Orthros are going to commit necessarily to a hard library take here, but I guess it could be on the agenda maybe.
As a positioning right now, Siru's already made his way through garage.
Bomb located by attackers.
It'd be dangerous if he decided to continue to poke and prod around the site. Legator though on a very quick line. That seems a little bit high, I'm not going to lie. That seems like that's not going to play that many dividends for the attacking roster. Generally we see it a bit lower, and it's somewhat of a murder hole, a foothold if you will, that allows them to maneuver in and around and flush players out from the back of sight. You can see the outlines from Orthros. They're all starting to line up now. They've got to start getting things done. They've still got to flush out number 2.
Orthros playing very patiently in comparison to the previous round. No crazy rushes, no quick map control. Instead taking their time, droning ahead, setting up players with utility. Salma has created a breach over towards backstore. Need to follow to get that mute jammer off the wall and should create a sizable breach now. Afro elsewhere does drop choppy, however, which is unfortunate. Going to limit the capabilities here a little bit for Orthros. That's 2 nades off the board, a bit of information gathering as well.
Shin was looking for somewhat of a flank there. Mao needs to be careful because Shin's underneath with him. Wine Cellar under full control of Fav here. Typon finding Mao. Quick trade back from V-Board, but things are steamrolling out of control for Orthros. What can they find in this round? It's a 2 versus 3, both players on full HP, 4 flashes and 3 drones left for them to use. No more calls from Ace Roller though.
Number 2 still up above, but it's down below. Ace Roller can now hack that camera as well. Afro's going to go for the trade. Ace Roller surely taken down. Afro aggressive. Oh, wins that fight. Ace Roller was ready and waiting, but now it's V-Vort left up above in the 1v2.
15 seconds to go.
Has to try and find the kill, but doesn't expect number 2 to be behind the desk of lock.
Down to basement we go here for Fav Gaming. Again, we saw it in the first half, not a fantastic site to defend. We've seen it globally as well. It's really not that great. So kind of surprised we're seeing it brought out here by Fav, if I'm being completely honest. And Orthros, they have a good attacking lineup to deal with this. They have the hard breach, so team up can open snowmobile or even rear as well if needed. Decent soft breach capabilities from V-Board if they want to map clear. Plenty of information gathering, plenty of utility as well. So a little bit concerned here, I think, for Fav. Interesting as well that they're bringing Warden with, you know, no Ying being played, no Smokes probably going to play a part either. So yeah, keen to see how it plays out though. I guess Shin has been fragging out, so MPX with the 1.5 times scope, maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, could be. Could well be. Surely rocks the Chiefs skins though. Just as a nod, surely.
Hope so.
Now, oh, we all do. We all do. But Fav have clearly chosen this for a reason. A lot of attention being put across towards Snowmobile right now. Excuse your French.
But
oh, is they going to send it here? Guys, they're just going to send it.
yeah, V-Bot going deep. Typon though does get the opening kill there onto Choppy. V-Bot taken down low from Blue. Leaves it in the 5v3. Ace Roller gets a nice shot there with the LMG. But Orthros have now been stalled outside the breach. Mao probably needs to try and find a play, but number 2's looking elsewhere and could shut that down alongside Lugator.
This could be dangerous. Mao has been spotted. They know where he is. Now it's about buying the time. 2 minutes in, you've only lost, really, your Kaid. It might have been a C4 player, which it is. Now needs to play massive here. 2 players he's got to try and pick up. He's got to be careful he does not go chasing. He won't know that there's 2 there. Number 2, holding onto the sharp line as well. This will certainly be to his own demise. If he does swing into this, he doesn't expect number 2 on the close line. And that makes things even worse here for Orthros, who for all intents and purposes sent it into the site to try and catch off Fav. It's not to be.
Yeah, rushing basement, I don't quite understand the thought process behind that. It's an objective where if you're able to tighten your squeeze on the opponents, there's really not much you can do as a defender, as the amount of cover is quite limited and your options as well. So a little bit strange there from ORTHROS. I guess a similar sort of mentality to that dining push where they rushed in early and then rotated out and then re-attacked. But yeah, obviously they capitulated a little bit there. FAV Gaming were ready and waiting, found those kills. And now the round really should be there. There's only 50 seconds left to mount an attack.
And you can see from the pings, there's so much information for FAV Gaming. They know exactly where these players are, even before ORTHROS do. Number 2, beside the bin or the crash, could be, I mean, it's not really going to make a difference. Neither player really coming from there from ORTHROS, but it's just one position FAV don't have to worry about. Time is ticking, and so too are their chances of taking this round out. A 2 versus 4, really you will need a pick early on in that piece, and it's just not going to be possible. Zero could try all he wanted, but there's no chance.
Really a surprise considering it's not great here locally in Japan. I guess interesting that we're not seeing them reattempt kitchen dining, but I guess the fact that ORTHROS looks so strong with that particular attack, maybe not wanting to take that risk. So I'm keen to see the setup here from FAV. It's looking pretty standard, right? You've got the Frost in play to prevent some of these vault-ins. Also have that deployable shield to play into over towards Piano. Small extension over towards Library to store that out, and some utility as well down below. So nothing standing out of me. Out of left field here. So ORTHROS, we'll get to see what they're made of on this particular objective. Again, the first time we are seeing it here in the second half. And much like kitchen and dining, ORTHROS could look very strong here, very dangerous.
I mean, look, this isn't something I'd read into so far, but FAV have been able to find the drones quite easily in the opening prep phase. I think that's been 3 rounds in a row they've been able to pick 2. Now, it's obviously not a huge factor. You still do have the Gemini for Choppy that will do a lot of that work in the early parts of the round, clearing out certain POIs, the A, B, Cs, and Ds, if you will. But nevertheless, it is something just to keep your eyes on, as now they're down to 7. 6 in the field though, so they're getting a lot of intel early on. It was something I was praising them for on Bank, even in the 1 round that we did see. They were very effective at live droning ahead, ensuring that where those attackers are really trying to poke and probe, they've got the information to do so. Now, with that control of Library, and no sign of a flank just yet, should be somewhat okay, but you've got to be careful of Type on here. You can be doing some serious damage. Speaking of damage, Choppy, once again, pops his head up and says hello.
Yeah, I think that was half-wall dealt with as well, so a little bit unfortunate. And the ball now blown open. Shin replaces that position, now under quite a bit of pressure. Oh, that's not a swing you want to take on. Wow. Particularly on land. Do not peek, Shin, or you are going to be deleted. I know you're playing well, 11 and 6, but trust me, that's a fight you do not want to take. And there we go, taken down. Number 2 got a pick elsewhere as well. That was from Piano. Leaves us in a 4v3. ORTHROS with that man advantage.
Smoke here just to allow Siru to get out into position. Got to be careful of that Piano player, just like that. And no, how does that not connect onto Siru, who now backs away? A 4 versus 3. This is one of the harder retakes that you'll ever have to do as a defensive squad, especially as the attack starts to open things up more and more.
30 seconds on the board. Number 2 needs to find these key picks, but with the SMG at that sort of range, no doubt going to be challenging. Luke Gator as well alongside, looking to find something too. They've progressed forward, FAV, but they can't get on that diffuser. Siru outside finds 1, may well find a 2nd, but his teammate will steal that kill. Typon finds 1, but it's a constellation at this point. Big round from ORTHROS, looking much more comfortable on that objective.
I think my eyes deceived me, but I thought I just saw Typon on 19 kills. I don't think that's possible. Unless he's having the game of his life, I think maybe my eyes were just deceiving me. We'll see when we get back into the server. He has certainly been a huge star player here for FAV. Really giving them so many openings. Similar to Shin. Shin has been really phenomenal. I think that it's been a shining light and a good reason as to why ORTHROS has not been given so many rounds, and so many of them have kind of spiraled out of control due to the openings that Shin can find. And again, working on the back of teamwork, their live droning has been effective enough to allow that to take place.
Attackers need to
Let's have a
locate
look. How
and
many
defuse
kills
bomb.
is he
It's
on?
10.
10. Oh yeah, my eyes definitely deceive me in a huge way.
I mean, I will say the font that is used on the Japanese build of Siege is significantly smaller than the English build. So even reading the kill feed at times, I don't know if you've been finding it tricky, but
Yeah, I'm
sometimes
finding it
I'm
a
like
little bit tricky.
squinting, trying to read who's even finding kills at times. So yeah, pretty easy mistake to make. But there's actually quite a fair few players that are on double digits. Ace Roller as well. I feel like he's been having a huge impact. I think it was mainly on the defense, right, where he's finding a couple of picks off site, mounting those kills. And talk about double digits, 5 + 5 = 10. That's the scoreline at the moment. Very, very close.
Attackers
I think it's probably fair to say at this point that FAV only really have 2 sites that they can lean on, Bar Games being one of those, and Snow Wine, which honestly I don't think is that great. So I still honestly think Orthros are in a really good spot here, right? Kitchen Dining was incredibly strong, so was Master Office. So the options for Orthros are a little bit limited here as to where they can go. Of course, it is Bar Games for this particular round, so we're expecting FAV to probably take this claim match point, but from that point onwards, Orthros should be able to push OT.
I like how quickly they're taking this. They're not really messing about too much. This time they're just getting straight to the point, opening things up, and they're going to be contesting Library from Study's side. Shit underneath. Might be able to find a cheeky pick or two. I mean, I couldn't imagine that Orthros are just going to hand him those, but regardless, Shin's been taking names, and that's something that you do need to be concerned of. Something you need to start to think about is the fact that these players are individually popping up just like that. I said to you, they may not give it to him, but he will take it. And just like that, Ace Roller, who has been the biggest player in terms of the kill department for Orthros, has just been taken down without any information.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. I don't know how he even knew to get that kill, because by the time we switched to him, he was over towards Bar. So yeah, not too sure how that was achieved, but nonetheless a very good result for FAV. Orthros need to find a way back into this round, so he get burnt by that drone nade sending out over towards Mez, but Typon will survive. Holding down that swing over towards Piano needs to be very, very careful. Nade cracked by Ty. Pete, not Ty Pete, Choppy, as I completely butcher that name, jumps in, goes for the kill onto Afro and wins that fight. The Mez support not quite there, but the trades eventually do come through, leaving it at a 2-on-4.
Siru might be able to go undetected here. Nope, never mind that. He will have to drop the hatch, and now he's going to try to play back through the staircase. Player up on top of Mez. Got to be careful, or at least behind Fireplace. And oh, Mal, that's a really nice opening pick. He does not expect number 2 there, though. Not a chance. Number 2, that's the second time he's been able to do that.
Just the professional rat at this point.
Yeah.
Playing in positions you would just never bother to check. 40 seconds now. Siru taken down. FAV Gaming now on map point, but again, original basement here. Don't try and do anything too crazy like last time. Instead, go for map control, be a little bit more controlled in your approach. Find picks on site, play into that vert, and see what you can get done. I don't think a rush is really on the agenda.
Don't know whether they brought the Echo last time. I can't remember in basement, but it's certainly something that they're going to have to deal with. I know they definitely had the Maestro. They definitely have to deal with the Evil Eyes, but I do not imagine that they had the Echo last time. So it's just an additional added kind of bonus for FAV here. Another piece of denial late to the round if they need it. I wouldn't mind seeing Orthros open up Snowmobile, but not necessarily play it. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to open it up nice and early and then continue on their way and kind of hitting the check marks here. What is number 2 doing? No way. No way, Guz.
He's been loving these rat spots, but that one's very, very dangerous. Orthros do open up Snowmobile. Unfortunately, the Electro Claw juggle a little bit delayed there from Taipon. That means that Siru now has an exothermic left to go over towards the back, near cellar, rotate, maybe go for a play. Number 2's going, I don't know, spawn pigs or something weird. Not sure exactly what's going on there, but Ace Roller has his rotation cut off. I think the play here for Orthros, honestly, is try and cut off number 2. Get it back to a 5v4, gain that advantage, and then play off that. That said, it doesn't look like they're committing all that hard to this map sweep, so I don't know if it's going to pay off. That said, Vivort repositioning, looking to maybe join in on this battle, as well as the repel from Mao.
Number 2 either needs support, or it's going to be that case where you come in to save the body. Right now, trying to hit the shot, Vivort has to be so cautious. There's no chance to trade this out unless ORTHROS decide to send all players in. This would be a devastating loss to start out with. Mao ensuring no one's going to run out on him. Vivort now starts to move across to the Solarium side. This might actually catch out number 2.
Minute 20 left, so a lot of time expended here. ORTHROS need to get this kill. They need to get it quickly. V-Board, what are you doing? Number 2 lit. V-Board as well. He'll rotate around. Skeleton Key could be used to create the rotate, and finally will be taken down. In fact, it was with that Skeleton Key. Elsewhere, critically, Acerola finds a pick inside of Trophy. Now it's a 5 versus 3, and ORTHROS looking much stronger on this side. And as I've mentioned a couple of times, there's nowhere safe to sit on this objective once you open up the correct angles.
With number 2 down now, that's the Yokai usage completely gone. I think, all things considered, Vivort was incredibly lucky not to have fallen there. They're going to put a little bit of attention towards Snowmobile here, as Acerola going to be coming down from the garage side. Shin might have the information, type on too, but things are getting hot and heavy. 30 seconds left, guys. This could well and truly be it.
A lot of utility available here for the attack. Afro taken down now. Shin and Typon 2v5.
Oh my word, we are 100% going to overtime. There's no way. Shin has been disgustingly on point, but that is going to be ORTHROS forcing us into it.
You know, collect defense of their own, probably kitchen dining, a site they've looked great on. And then it comes down to that last attack for ORTHROS and that last defense for FAV. I just don't know where they're going to go. It's going to be a very difficult decision when it comes down to potentially that 15th and final round.
I think FAV move on from that basement defense. I think we do end up seeing the second floor. I think bedroom ends up being a point of contention. Should it make it there? I mean, ORTHROS GRIT could potentially take this, but I don't know. FAV just looks so phenomenal on this site. That extension above has paid dividends twice now, and number 2 in Library has just been so elusive. You've seen it twice now, playing in behind the desk, exactly where it's showing right now. And ORTHROS GRIT have not been able to really address that. Shin as well. Always happy to be aggressive, always happy to extend, to roam, be in your face. You've got to be so careful when coming up against him.
Almost taken down though by Choppy. Shin not wanting to give this up too freely, but eventually is forced back. Number 2 again up above inside a library. That's a trend that will continue. Acerola lurking on the Nook. Got one of the first 2 kills in the previous round and looking to back that up potentially over towards West Main. But again, Shin is back towards side. 3-man setup, a 3-2 split, 4 FAV. Pretty on meta at the moment. How can ORTHROS try and dislodge this?
Once again, a significant amount of attention into the side of Solarium and across from the northern part of Chalet. Now, opening up lines directly through the library should they wish to contest it. Minute 30 off the clock, and ORTHROS in the greatest position as of yet. Acerola coming from underneath though. If he could find his way all the way over to lobby, to fireplace, if you want to call it that, it could be really dangerous if FAV's attention is split, but time is going to be of the essence here.
5 versus 5. 70 seconds left on the board. Acerola still lurking down below, but how is the clear up above going? It's been somewhat successful, those shields dealt with, but not much control. That said, Vbort gets the first, but again, number 2 inside the library, immediately to trade that out. 55 seconds now left. Mao going to get aggressive. Oh no! Shoots Acerola. We'll be able to pick him up though with the boost, but that's not a very good start.
No, 3 players now going to be coming from that side of the staircase. Choppy can't afford to die here. If Choppy falls, that's all of that vertical control gone. Number 2 goes big again, and they cannot respond here. ORTHROS are just scrambling, and now number 2's going to find the flank, whether he meant to or not. Down the hatch, he should be able to find the free kill, but it's going to be Mao that finds the 3v3. 20 seconds left here for Orthros.
I still think FAV, though. They've got backstore control, double window as well, and the vert. Orthros, yes, they might have a chance, but it's slim.
Where do they go? It doesn't make a difference. They're going to be met with the crosshairs of FAV Gaming. Orthros can't find an opening, and that's going to be the free round almost given to FAV after phenomenal work in that middle. Would not have been, I think, the money in terms of Orthros' defense. The extension that this roster has had up above has certainly been something that FAV have, I would say, been pretty proficient with in terms of clearing, but it's where they go from there that things get a little bit questionable. So we'll see what the impact can finally be here in what could be the last round. It's certainly going to be the last defense that ORTHROS GRIT see on Chalet. Could be altogether if they manage to take this in the next round. So FAV are really up against the wall here.
I'm really looking at the likes of Choppy again here to find a couple of early picks and give his team a real fighting chance in this round. He's been able to do that on a couple of occasions to help his team out. Maybe roaming up above. Oh my god. Early nade there to clear the castle barricade from number 2. Not too far away from taking Choppy's life as well. FAV are preparing for a solo take, running above control, play into that vert. They have the buck available in Afro as well. He'll be able to get that job done. Choppy needs to be very careful, still trying to place down the last of his entry denial devices. And will be successful. Needs to be careful now. Double window, type on with the LMG. Pre-firing a lot of these common positions, but unable to really find anything. But with this cross being held, above control will be tough. That said, Siru will drop Shin, the danger man for FAV.
It's one way of putting it. He's certainly been the hitman, hasn't he? The damage that he's inflicted on this roster, it's been echoing throughout their defenses and their attacks. Doesn't make a difference. Time and time again, we've seen Shin light up that scoreboard, whether it's opening kills, whether it's quick doubles. FAV Gaming much slower on their approach this time around. Maybe the hindrance that Shin's been. That's devastating.
Well, now you know never to place an ADS device, though.
Very true.
I didn't
Very
even know
true.
that was an angle, so there you go. Minute 15 left in this round. Lugator. That's Choppy taken down on the vert, and that's the signal for FAV to go. Need to begin to work this vert quickly, but there's still a player inside of Piano. I think that might be V-Board. There's even one at half wall as well. So ORTHROS GRIT playing for their lives up above here. How many kills can they get? The answer, one so far. Ace Roller still at half wall.
Seen Ace Roller do this before. Now he's going to get aggressive. The SMG pays dividends. Afro couldn't save his teammate. Number 2 goes down in backstab fashion. Now, and Siru left to hold on for ORTHROS GRIT.
Hatch being popped here. 4x Kairos, drone to follow from Lugator. Scout outside. Mouse spotted inside of Dining. Siru with a very peculiar long angle from Dining through the table. I think my gut, my brain is telling me that this is ORTHROS GRIT round 2 lose.
Oh, Mao, he's going to be so lucky here. His timing just backs away as Afro starts to come in. He tries to swing, but he can't find anything. Lugator finds Siru, shuts it down. We are going to Villa.
Well, I was wrong. I